This video is brought to you by my supporters on Patreon. Hey guys, so I'm here with a video showing you how I made my Dark Magician Girl wand. The top and end pieces are made out of insulation foam. The pattern is something I drew up and is available on my store Envy. The listing should be up now. So I traced that pattern onto the insulation foam board, and now I'm cutting it out using a knife. You should be really careful when you do this and not cut towards yourself like I am. Next, I'm taking foam board glue and gluing all of the ends together. I made her top end of her wand 2 foam board pieces thick, and the bottom end was 3 pieces. When cutting out the board, I had left a lot of excess around my outline from the pattern so that I had some leeway to actually have everything on both sides be even without like cutting into the actual size that I wanted it to be. That's what I'm doing here. I'm cutting off all of the excess and evening out both sides of her little wand dealio, and I'm going to also start to kind of bevel the edges a little bit, which you will see here in a bit. This is where I'm going around and I'm cutting a sort of diagonal at the sides to kind of bevel the edges so that I can give it a more rounder shape when I sand it. I'm also going ahead and cutting off all the excess of the ball part and super rounding that out. Like, you just have to cut at it and cut at it until it starts making a ball shape, and it takes a while. You don't have to do it too much because sanding will also help kind of smooth it out. You just need to make sure it's looking round. And forgive me because the trash can is going to be in the shots a lot because I didn't want to cut above my floor and have all these foam pieces just all over the place. This was the easiest way to keep my room mess free, or as mess free as possible. Next, I'm taking the staff part of the wand and I'm just kind of outlining that on either of the ends so that I can start digging out this circular shape where it's going to fit into, because you don't want to just attach it flat onto it. It's going to fall off. You kind of need to create this little slot for it to go in so that it will stay sturdy and strong and you can glue it into place in that. After that, it was time for sanding, and this takes a while. I still had to cut away at a little bit of the pieces, but it was mostly just sanding it. I used a fine or medium grit sandpaper. I can't remember. It's 180 grit though, so whatever that is, if it's fine or medium. And I'm just sanding out all of the edges that I had cut away on and smoothed it out and rounded the corners a little bit more. So there's some gaps in where I guess you would call it the seam line, and to fill those in I'm taking this like wood putty stuff that I got at Home Depot, and this meant it kind of works like spackle and stuff. You just fill in holes in wood, but I'm using this to fill in holes in foam, and that worked perfectly fine. I put it in all of the gaps and around the edge to smooth out all of the seams, let that dry, and then sanded that down. After that, I primed it with a couple layers of wood glue to get it ready for painting. I think I did like 3 or 5 layers of wood glue. I used EVA foam to create these little ridges that her staff has. And I don't have much footage of what is left, but what I did is similar to how I did her hat, where I used spray adhesive and then stuck the foam pieces as well as the staff itself to fabric because I wanted it to match the costume colors exactly. And so I just kind of sprayed the entire staff and then rolled it up in fabric. The seam line was a little bit wobbly. If I took more of my time, it could probably be straighter. After that, I simply glued on the little ridges of EVA foam that I had wrapped in pink fabric. But that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it and found it helpful. Thanks for watching.